The wind howled across the desolate plains as the moon rose over the rugged hills of Arizona Territory. The land was quiet, save for the rustling of dry grass and the distant cry of a lone coyote. But somewhere between the whispering pines and the red rocks, trouble was brewing. A young Apache girl named Nayeli ran barefoot through the wilderness, her breath heavy and heart-pounding. Behind her, glowing eyes darted in the shadows, wolves, hungry, wild, and closing in fast. Nayeli had been gathering herbs near the creek when she realized she had strayed too far from her tribe's camp. She knew these lands, but the wolves knew hunger better. She grabbed a stick, shouting in her native tongue, trying to scare them off, but their growls grew louder. The moment she tripped over a rock, she thought it was over, until a single gunshot cracked through the night. Then another. The pack scattered, their howls fading into the distance. Nayeli opened her eyes to see a tall man on horseback, his hat tilted low, the barrel of his rifle still smoking. His name was Jake Callahan, a cowboy known across the frontier for his solitude and sense of justice. "You all right, miss?" he asked, his deep voice carrying both concern and command. She could barely answer, shivering as he offered his coat. "Wolves don't play fair around here," he muttered, scanning the darkness. "You're lucky I was riding close." Nayeli hesitated before speaking. "You saved me," she whispered. "Why?" Jake shrugged. "Wouldn't be right to let anyone get torn apart on my watch." He lifted her gently onto his horse. She resisted at first. Apache pride was strong, but exhaustion won. As they rode under the silver moonlight, she studied his face, his jaw rough with dust, his eyes tired but kind. "You shouldn't be out here," he said softly. "Your people?" "South," she murmured. "2 days. Then I'll take you there. You would risk that?" she asked, surprised. The cowboys and Apache rarely crossed paths without tension. "I ain't scared of people," he replied. "Only of doing nothing when someone needs help." They camped by a stream, and while Jake tended the fire, Nayeli sat wrapped in his coat, thinking how fate could turn enemies into saviors. As dawn painted the desert in gold, she caught him watching the sunrise in silence, as if he carried ghosts only the morning could chase away. Something in her heart shifted. He was no longer a stranger. He was the man who stood between her and death. When she softly said, "Thank you, cowboy," he only nodded. But in that simple exchange, something powerful began. A bond born not of words, but of survival. The journey back to Nayeli's tribe was long and unforgiving. The sun beat down mercilessly as they crossed canyons and dusty trails. Jake stayed alert, aware that Apaches didn't take kindly to outsiders, especially armed cowboys. Yet Nayeli's presence seemed to calm every mile they rode. She spoke little, but when she did, her words carried the wisdom of her ancestors. She told him stories of the desert spirits, the songs of her people, and the meaning of the hawk feather she wore around her neck. He listened, quietly drawn to her strength and serenity. One evening, as they rested near the edge of the mesa, Nayeli suddenly froze. "They're coming," she said. A scout from her tribe appeared on the ridge, soon followed by warriors on horseback, their faces stern and painted. Jake's hand instinctively went to his revolver, but she stopped him. "Do not draw," she said firmly. The riders surrounded them, their leader glaring at Jake. "Why is this white man with you?" the chief demanded. Nayeli stepped forward. "Because he saved my life." The chief's expression softened slightly. "Then he is a friend," he declared. Jake lowered his head respectfully. "Just doing what's right," he said. The warriors nodded, and Jake turned to leave, his duty done. But Nayeli's voice stopped him. "Wait." She stepped close, her dark eyes fierce and full of gratitude. "You risked your life for me," she said. "You rode through my land with honor. You fought the wolves when no one else would. That makes you more than a stranger." She paused, placing her hand on his chest. "You're mine now." Jake's eyes widened, unsure what she meant, but her tone was soft, not possessive, more like a promise. "My people say, when two souls meet in danger and survive together, they are bound by the Great Spirit." "You belong to my story now, cowboy," Jake smiled faintly. "Reckon that's not such a bad place to be." The tribe welcomed him with a feast, and under the starlit sky, Nayeli danced with her people while Jake watched from the firelight's edge. Something deep within him shifted. After years of drifting from town to town, he finally felt a reason to stay. When dawn came again, he saddled his horse, ready to ride, but Nayeli appeared beside him. "You saved me once," she said. "Now let me save you from your loneliness." Jake looked at her. the desert wind tugging at her hair. "You sure about that?" "The spirit's already decided," she whispered. He chuckled softly. "Then I guess I don't stand a chance." Together they rode into the horizon, two souls united not by fate, but by choice. And as the sun rose higher, the cowboy who once roamed alone found a new legend to live by, one that would echo through the Old West for generations.